The night baby NHI vanished, time seemed to fracture. For Too Deep, a mother whose world revolved around the small girl's laughter, and for James, a man who once believed empires and logic could shield him from pain, every second dragged like an eternity. The home that had always hummed with warmth and joy was pierced by a silence so sharp it suffocated. And in that silence, one haunting question echoed: would they ever see their little girl again? The vanishing. It began as an ordinary evening. The farmhouse smelled faintly of bamboo and wood smoke, while little Nye's voice rang through the yard like a songbird, skipping, giggling, weaving through the dusk. Then, in a heartbeat, that melody was gone. Too Deep's heart clutched. She called once, then again, her voice trembling as the wind teased the bamboo grove behind the house. No answer, no patter of small feet. Only the unsettling hush of twilight. When James returned from the village store with rice under his arm, he was met by a sight that would unnerve even the most composed of men: Too Deep running barefoot, hair wild, eyes frantic. "She's not here," she gasped. "She was just playing near the garden, now she's gone." The businessman who once thrived on high-stakes negotiations felt powerless. All his wealth, all his carefully constructed order, collapsed in the face of a primal terror: the disappearance of his daughter. The search. Neighbors rallied quickly, lanterns flickering like fireflies against the growing darkness. They combed the garden, fields, and stream where NHI often played. Too Deep clutched her daughter's scarf like a lifeline, while James whispered reassurances he hardly believed. Word spread to Nye's blood relatives, Lan and Bao, who rushed in, breathless. Old rifts dissolved. For once, what bound them was stronger than what divided them: a desperate love for the same child. Even James's stern father, once opposed to the adoption, sent word that he was coming. Rain fell through the night, turning paths into slick rivers. James refused to stop, his clothes drenched, his flashlight beam slicing through sheets of water. Too Deep prayed silently, tears mixing with rain. For years she had believed in small miracles: seeds sprouting, strangers' kindness, the unexpected love James had brought into her life. But tonight she pleaded for the greatest miracle of all. The miracle. Just before dawn, when hope was thinning, a cry pierced the night. James froze. Too Deep gasped. They followed the sound, hearts pounding, feet sinking into mud. There, curled beneath a cluster of bamboo, was NHI, shivering but alive. She had chased a firefly, wandered too far, and taken shelter from the rain beneath the grove. Too Deep swept her child into her arms, sobbing with relief. James wrapped his coat around them both, anchoring them against the storm. Lan and Bao arrived moments later, their tears mingling with laughter under the pale light of dawn. The bamboo grove that hours earlier loomed like a threat now shimmered like a protector. Lessons in fragility. Back at the farmhouse, NHI drifted to sleep between them, sipping warm milk. Deep brushed damp strands of hair from her daughter's forehead, cherishing each small twitch of her fingers. James stood at the window, staring out at the swaying bamboo, recalling the faint cry that had saved them. For the first time in years, he felt powerless in a way that humbled him. The miracle wasn't wealth or influence, it was love, community, and hope. In the kitchen, Lan and Bao prepared a quiet breakfast. Lan whispered, tears in her eyes, "I thought we lost her twice, once when fate tore us apart, and again last night." But now, it feels like she belongs to all of us. Deep squeezed her hand. She does. She belongs to every heart that loves her. The bonds of community. By day's end, villagers streamed in with blankets, food, and stories. James, exhausted yet deeply moved, thanked each of them. Even his father, who had once opposed Ni's place in their home, laid a hand on his son's shoulder, a gesture that spoke more than words. That evening, fireflies lit the garden. Deep held NHI close, wrapped in a blanket. "I wasn't scared," the little girl whispered, "because I knew you would find me." Tears filled Deep's eyes. James swallowed hard, holding them both. For the first time in days, their world felt whole again. A new perspective. The days that followed were quiet, healing. NHI once again filled the farmhouse with laughter, chasing butterflies in the garden. But James had changed. He lingered longer at home, watching her run, realizing how fragile happiness could be. Lan and Bao, softened by what they had witnessed, admitted their doubts had been misplaced. "We thought blood meant everything," Bao confessed. "But I saw how you love her. I saw you never gave up." Deep, steady but tearful, answered, "Fear doesn't have to divide us. She's part of you, too." "We don't want to erase that." A wall crumbled. They shared a meal under lantern light, laughter filling the air. NHI giggled as she tried to feed James rice, oblivious to the deeper reconciliation unfolding around her. Miracles in the everyday. Later, standing by the window, James whispered, "We could have lost her forever." Maybe this was meant to remind us how precious every moment is. Deep rested her head on his chest. "I used to think miracles were rare. Maybe they're everywhere, hidden in the people who refuse to give up." The bamboo grove rustled as if in agreement. Beyond survival, weeks later, life regained rhythm. James returned to work in the city but was haunted by flashes of that stormy night. One evening, he came home early, pausing at the garden's edge to watch Diep and Nhi laughing as they picked vegetables. Gratitude swelled in him. At dinner, he admitted softly, "I've spent years building walls of money and power, thinking they'd protect us. But that night showed me what really matters. It's not walls, it's being here together." Diep touched his hand. "You've always protected us, James. But maybe what protects us most is this, our love, our family." A circle completed. Lan and Bao returned often now, not to claim Nhi, but to love her alongside Diep and James. Even James's father softened, crouching beside the child to hand her a toy boat, whispering words of pride. One night, under a sky scattered with stars, Nhi clambered onto James's lap. "When I was in the bamboo," she whispered, "I saw stars through the leaves." "I thought they were watching me, showing me the way back." James hugged her tight. "Maybe they were, little one. Maybe they always are." Diep leaned against him, their daughter's small hand curled in hers. The breeze stirred the bamboo, and the world seemed to sigh with peace. In that moment, they understood. The true miracle wasn't only finding Nhi. It was discovering the strength of love, the resilience of chosen family, and the quiet magic of everyday life.